Tracy Bosch is a principal at global management consulting firm Hay Group. She spoke with us about creating a successful global reward strategy. What are some of the challenges associated with creating a reward strategy in a global organization?
At Hay Group, we would say that there are really 4 key challenges associated with implementing reward strategy. And the first of these is alignment, and that is alignment from the business strategy, across HR strategy, into reward strategy, and then drilling that down into each of the elements of reward strategy. The second challenge is engagement, right? And really tying reward strategy to the things that are really going to motivate engagement and motivate employees. The other challenge is one of change management, and that's particularly important when you're having to introduce reward strategy changes that are trying to change the behaviors of employees. That change management piece is critical, very challenging. And finally, the other challenge is really delivering that return on investment to the business, the return on investment to rewards. And each of these challenges becomes even more complex for global organizations because they do have that diversity of operations, diversity of geography, and obviously a lot of diversity in terms of the demographic makeup of their employee groups. So the alignment becomes more difficult, the engagement becomes more difficult, the change management, and also delivering return on investment.
What are some things companies can do to have a successful global reward strategy?
Well, both our experience and our research at Hay Group tells us that when it comes to global reward strategy, most organizations are better at designing the reward strategy than they are at the implementation piece. So often there's a whole lot of focus on the wedding and planning for the wedding, and maybe not quite so much focus on the actual marriage itself. So I would say that a key thing global companies can do to have a successful global reward strategy is to really focus on the implementation, to really focus on that communication piece, and start planning that implementation as part of the design.
And what are some common mistakes when implementing this strategy that employers should keep in mind?
Well, probably the most common mistake that employers make in implementing reward strategy is underestimating the amount and the nature of communication that needs to take place in order to ensure successful implementation. So those really strong strategic messages really do need to come from the top in order to ensure alignment. And then line managers need to be able to reinforce that with very detailed communication and very detailed messages to employees to help employees to really understand what's in this for me, what does this mean for me, what does this mean in terms of what I need to change, what does this mean in terms of what I get. And so really I think it's important to remember that the line managers are really our most powerful tool for global reward strategy implementation, and really to be able to equip those line managers with the right sorts of messages to really reinforce communication is critical.
What advice do you have for determining how to balance the needs of HR, of the business, and those of employees?
Well, first of all, I'd say if you're going to balance your HR strategies with the needs of the business and the needs of the employees, you need to make sure that you understand what those needs are. And typically what we find is that most organizations are a little bit better at understanding and unpicking the needs of the business than they are at understanding and unpicking the needs of employees. So organizations do have a certain amount of experience in working with the business to understand what it is that the business needs, what it is that they're trying to deliver, and that's very, very critical. But more and more what we're finding is that as the diversity of our workforces are changing, it's more difficult to get a handle on the diverse needs of that employee base and the types of things that are really going to drive and motivate employees. So I think that would be my advice to organizations, would be try to get a better handle on the diversity of employees.
And overall, what do employers need to keep top of mind when developing a successful global reward strategy?
I think overall the number one thing that should be top of mind is alignment. Okay, when you're developing global reward strategy in particular. And that's, as I say, the alignment of business strategy with HR strategy with reward strategy, alignment of all of the rewards elements with each other, alignment of your reward strategy with the needs of the business, alignment of your reward strategy with the needs of employees. And if you think through that alignment very carefully and plan through that alignment very carefully in your design, then it's a lot easier to implement global reward strategy because you've already planned through that alignment, and it's easier to articulate those messages to employees to help them to understand how it all fits into the bigger picture.